Oops. My bad, y'all. That's my own fan rendition that I'll do my top 10 faves on later. Anyway. Hey y'all, it's Eva Electivire here, and how about that? 20 years of Pokemon. Damn, don't we feel old? I'm kidding, y'all. Anyway, being born right at the start of the 1990s, Pokemon was with me as I was growing up. Unfortunately though, I never really started playing it until I had my Game Boy Color and I had Pokemon Crystal as my very first game when I was 10. I've fallen in love with it ever since, and I finally decided to share with you all my top 10 favorite Pokemon. Since this is strictly my opinion, be sure to leave some friendly feedback. If you all enjoyed the video, please do subscribe and share it with all your friends, as well as leave a like. With that out of the way, let's start this countdown. Number 10. Absol. Aside from Darkrai and Zoroark, this Pokemon is the most symbolic Dark-type Pokemon in my book. Its design is badass, and even though it's counted as the disaster Pokemon, the upside is that it can live a long time. This is one Pokemon that I want to exist in real life. It'll live with me forever. Plus, the design of Mega Absol. Look at it! Talk about graceful and regal all at once. And with an increase in attack and special attack, it'll become more of an angel rather than be proclaimed as the Pokemon that causes disasters. If only it'll become a flying type on the side with that Mega Evolution with those gorgeous wings, so it can dodge those earthquakes, drill runs, and diggers out there. I mean, sure, rock type and electric type moves will be super effective towards it, as well as ice, but still, Absol can take on those moves with increased defenses. Number 9. Amaura and Aurorus. They're both at number 9 for a good reason. They're both beautiful. Their downsides are their quad weaknesses to fighting and steel, but holy crap do their designs make up for it. When I first started playing Pokemon Y, I was already anxious to get my first Generation 6 fossil. When I got the Sail fossil, I knew something cute was coming out of it. Don't get me wrong though, Tyrunt is cute too, but his evolved form, Tyrantrum, its design just doesn't do me justice. I'm neutral when it comes to Tyrantrum. Amaura, however, was the epitome of both majestic and adorable all at once. When I realized that it only evolved at night, I was like, okay, I'm cool with that. When it finally did happen, I saw Aurorus and I loved it so much. Even its sound is beautiful. And that ability, Refrigerate, it's an Arceus sin. I can use Hyper Beam on Rayquaza and it's down and out. Woo! All in all, Amaura and Aurorus make this spot on this list because they just gave me a cold touch of love without actually making me feel cold. Their faces make me feel warm instead. Number 8. Mega Swampert. Now, before y'all go crazy about why I chose the Mega Evolution rather than its normal form, it's because I love his design, his massive increase in attack and defenses, and his ability, Swift Swim. Regular Swampert just looks too skinny to me. He even looks skinnier than me. Sure, he's got big legs, but with the skinny arms, they just make him look silly. Mega Swampert looks like he spent an entire month in a gym and did nothing but bench presses with a whale lord. Jeez. He does have that quad weakness to grass, but thankfully that's his only weakness. Other than that, he's just earned a special place in my heart because I used him for the first time during the Pokemon Y demo before the actual game came out, and got to experience his Mega form for the first time with a bang. It was an incredible experience. I just wish he could stay in his Mega Evolved form forever. Oh, and his shiny form inspired me to create a fake mon of my own. The Dartrol. Y'all know he looks badass. Number 7.
Pika-pee, Pikachu, Pika-pika.
Pikachu. Y'all know I can't do this countdown without giving some love to our lovable mascot. He's at number 7 because he's just awesome in his own way. He's been Ash's loyal partner for many, many, many years, and even though they've been through some fights every now and then, they still stay together for the sake of each other. With that in mind, there's just one thing about Pikachu that I'm just baffled about. How come Ash created some form of a bond connection with Greninja, but not Pikachu? That boy has had that cute and cuddly electric mouse since the dawn of his time, and he hasn't formed the same strong bonding power as Greninja? Are you kidding me? It better happen sometime during the Sun and Moon anime, and I am not referring to the Z Crystal. Number 6. Togekiss. In my opinion, I think that this Pokemon is the most majestically designed flying type I've ever seen. Having it being a fairy type by the time Pokemon X and Y came out adds even more versatility to it. I mean, just look at it. It's the perfect Pokemon to me. It's big enough to fly on its back. It looks soft to the touch. It's in the colors of our nation's flag, just like Braviary. And it looks so much like an angel from Pokemon Heaven. And I love its Pokemon Y Dex entry, which says, it shares many blessings with people who respect one another's rights and avoid needless strife. That's basically the role of an angel plus so much more. If I could be a Pokemon, it would be this one, the ultimate peacekeeper of the world, flying around to spread joy and happiness to everyone. Let's see a ruler of any kind and try that. Number 5. Kyogre. Halfway through the list, and I finally have a legendary Pokemon on here. Firstly, I'm gonna be honest, I like all the legendaries, but out of all of them, Kyogre sticks out to me in just about the same way Togekiss does. Its design is perfect for a water type. It represents one of my favorite animals, the orca, or a killer whale. And I'm in love with its primal form, and its new move called Origin Pulse. When I saw the small Pokemon XY special that focused on all the Mega Evolutions plus the epic battle between Primal Groudon, Primal Kyogre, and Mega Rayquaza, I was totally blown away by how very well animated it was. It made Kyogre stand out so well and made it seem like it would really exist in the real world. Also, total nostalgia from a personal perspective here. Kyogre's shiny is purple, which is my favorite color. And what really made me love it oh so much is its shiny origin form. It's black, purple, and white, the colors of my favorite football team, the Baltimore Ravens. He's my good luck charm for the new football season. Number 4. Espeon. It's an elegant looking Pokemon that really represents what a true psychic type looks like. Not like Alakazam. Sorry to those who like that Pokemon, but I'm just being honest here. Again. Another reason why I love Espeon is that, well, again, it's my favorite color. Y'all know what it is by now. Its special attack is nearly off the charts for an evolution, and it's also the second fastest next to Jolteon. My specific Espeon is very special to me. I've got it with its hidden ability, Magic Bounce, which is another Arceus ability that I love so much. And she has a pretty helpful moveset: Dazzling Gleam, Psychic, Morning Sun, and Shadow Ball. I have a much more personal reason for it being my favorite. Many years ago, my grandfather and his cat named Trip passed away. Espeon kinda sends a spiritual vibe from both of them to my heart and soul. She's as peaceful looking as my grandpa's personality and as calming as his cat. I miss them both so much, and Espeon just makes me feel warm no matter what. Number 3. Cinccino. Ironically, this is the only normal type Pokemon on this list. I have a good excuse for that. They're pretty weak in some way. Cinccino is the prime example of a normal type that can shake off almost every fighting type attack. Even though its Pokemon Alpha Sapphire Dex entry states that its body is coated in a special oil that helps it deflect attacks such as punches, that seems to be false in most cases in my perspective. It can take a few of those hits and then some though. My Cinccino in particular has an important role, a supporter. It's got Helping Hand, Bullet Seed, Rock Blast, and Tail Slap. It's the only Pokemon that can learn that last move, by the way. That's the next thing that I like about it. Its ability, Skill Link. It's amazing to use and it's a lifesaver to me. Lastly, you gotta give it credit for looking so goddamn cute. Its sound makes it even more adorable. Number 2. Diancie. She's my favorite legendary / mythical Pokemon. First meeting her in Pokemon Y was an exhilarating experience to me. Her design is just as perfect as Kyogre and Togekiss. All those crystals on her really do make her look like a princess. Just like in her movie, Diancie in the Cocoon of Destruction. Speaking of that, and this may shock you all, But that was the very first Pokemon movie I have ever seen from start to finish in my entire life. I swear, I'm not making this up. I just haven't been able to see all the others in the past for some reason. But I have seen some nooks and crannies of them just to get by with the knowledge of them. Eventually, I will take the time to binge watch all of them, but for now, I'm satisfied with Diance's movie. They made her a little too cute, and it just makes me smile, even when she made me cry for a moment. Even her Mega Evolved form is just gorgeous. So many diamonds and crystals. It's everything a woman such as myself would love to have in real life. To have and cherish forever. The only downside about her is her quad weakness to steel. But other than that, Diance is just the perfect legendary / mythical Pokemon to me. Lastly, to prove my utmost fandom towards her, I even have a plushie of her sitting next to me in my bed. I love her that much. And she can do some lethal damage to some Pokemon with a sword. Now, before I get to my number one pick, there's quite a few honorable mentions that didn't quite make the list, but should be taken into account as my favorites. Bear with me on this, it's a pretty lengthy list. Emolga, aka the Flying Pikachu. His typing is shared with Zapdos, but it seems to have really good reflexes to me. It doesn't take rock type moves very well, but it can withstand ice for a moment. Also, its design is so adorable to me. And also, it hits closer to home in my perspective. My baseball team in my neck of the woods is called the Richmond Flying Squirrels. And Emolga is the perfect Pokemon mascot for them. Furret. I just love this one because he's just adorable to look at. He's not very good in battle, but he can be decent when he needs to be. Just have him learn Power Up Punch with other physical attacks with potential, and he's as smooth as butter. Plus, ferrets are another one of my favorite animals. They're so mischievous and adorable all at once. I'm hoping to keep one as a pet someday. Glaceon. I'm not a huge ice type user, even though I mentioned Amora and Aurorus not too long ago. But Glaceon stands out as the physical representation of how beautiful the cold substance can be. Ice is a very fragile type to get used to, and Glaceon kind of did more of the training towards me than I did towards her. She wasn't my first ice type Pokemon, but she kind of gave me the vibe from that type that I've missed in the past. Since my very first Pokemon game I've ever played was Pokemon Crystal, my very first ice type that I ever laid eyes on was Sneasel, and I hated it because of how weak it was. Sure, he was fast, but holy freaking crap! One hit from a rock, a punch, or a kick, and it was down instantly, no matter how high its level was. Then, I finally get my first Glaceon in Pokemon Y, and I fell in love with ice types again. I gave them a chance, like a certain freestyle dancing otaku from Tekken 7 should get a chance from all those haters. You know who I'm talking about, and you know who you are. Goodra. First things first, isn't he the cutest dragon type you've ever seen? Aww. I fell in love with him during my playthrough of Pokemon Y, and I just could not trade him away for nothing. He's the third and final purple dragon that I adore so much. Of course, at first glance, I didn't think he was a dragon type because he was purple and covered in slime. As it turns out, it's very friendly by nature and it loves to give lots and lots of hugs, resulting you in getting covered in the harmless sludge. It's totally worth it. So I'm actually glad he's just a dragon type and not a dragon and poison type like a certain ugly Pokemon. Ugh. Dragology. I hate you. You're weak as my bad. I nearly got carried away there. Anyway though, I admit it. Take a good long 15-second look at Goodra. Y'all know he's so adorable. Nidoking. This Pokemon is a tank in the poison type perspective. He looks better than Muk, first of all. No, just holy. Secondly, that high attack plus his ability Rivalry can really come in handy in tight spots. Mine has Power Up Punch, Poison Jab, Drill Run, and Ice Punch. It's not the perfect moveset for a Nidoking, but it's helped me out so much that it feels like it is. Nidoqueen is okay, but when it comes to power, it's all about the king. Politoed. Frogs are my favorite amphibians, and although there are others like Poliwag, Poliwhirl, and Poliwrath, Politoed just looks like the perfect frog standing on two legs. The cute little swirl on its head is a nice touch, and it's extremely special to me because when I have a team of nothing but water types, my specific Politoed has its hidden ability, Drizzle. It really does help them all out. Plus, he's the only non-legendary Pokemon that can have that ability. Rhydon. Its design is basic, but it's just adorable to me. It's an honorable mention because of just a couple of flaws. It's quad weak to grass and water, which really bothers me. But I still love him nonetheless. The second flaw is that it takes forever to evolve him from Rhyhorn, but it's well worth the wait. His massive attack and defenses make up for it all. Rhyperior is okay, but he's just way too slow for me. All I have to do for my Rhydon is give him rock polish and he's gone to town on his enemies in a heartbeat, especially with his lightning rod ability. He can protect my flying types and water type companions from getting shocked. Talk about a team player. Salamence, the coolest pseudo-legendary dragon type ever. There's nothing I don't like about him, even his quad weakness to ice. He gets around it somehow every time and hangs in there, especially with his super awesome Mega Evolved form. Having him learn Hyper Voice with that Aerialate ability and every grass type, bug type, and fighting type will cower in fear. Excuse me. Yveltal. Remember how I said that Absol was the most symbolic Dark-type Pokemon in my book? Well, this Pokemon of Destruction is the most badass looking one in my eyes. Even in his hilarious Baconberg shiny form, he still looks like he could strike fear into all who sees him. Seeing him in Diance's movie made me love him even more. Funny story about that, since he looked so cool, I was actually hoping he'd stay around for a little bit longer after Diance sent him away. I was a little sad when Pikachu nearly bit the dust because of him, but still. One more note I should point out, his signature move, Oblivion Wing, is the best flying type move animation wise, next to Brave Bird and Dragon Ascent, which really should be a dragon type move in my opinion. Zekrom. He doesn't quite make the #1 spot, but he's an honorable mention because he's the most badass looking dragon type Pokemon with my favorite element. He really makes electricity a much more deadly force of nature than a tornado, a hurricane, and a snowstorm combined. Even though I haven't officially obtained him until I got one shortly after beating Omega Ruby, he's still dubbed as one of my personal favorite Pokemon. Plus, I love his two signature moves, Bolt Strike and Fusion Bolt. If y'all thought Spyro controlling the power of electricity was lethal, Zekrom can actually top him in terms of power. Uxie! The only one of the 3 late Guardians that's my favorite. Azelf's okay, but his defense is terrible. Mesprit's fine as well, but she's slower than Uxie. Known as the knowledge Pokemon, she's the epitome of my smart nature. I have the most common sense when it comes to living life, but that doesn't mean that I still don't make mistakes. I've had my share, but at least I've learned from them. I'm a very responsible person, and Uxie's design just screams knowledgeable and responsible all at once. Palkia, the most badass looking dragon type legendary next to Rayquaza and Zekrom, of course. Having it being a water and dragon type makes it stand out as a very versatile dragon type. His only weaknesses are Fairy and Dragon. And besides, I prefer him over Dialga and Giratina any day. Meloetta. Love her in the anime, love her in the game. She represents my second favorite calming pastime, and I prefer her Aria form over her Pirouette form, especially since having her as a normal and psychic type. That means that ghosts can't touch her. Dark type still can, I know, but still. Yes! No ghosts! Also, she's a better singer than Jigglypuff, and her songs don't put you to sleep. 100% of the time, that is. Whew! Now, finally, to my #1 favorite Pokemon. #1. Electivire. Y'all saw this coming. For RC's sake, he's all over my channel and is my mascot. Everything about Electivire just screams badass to me. He's the electric type to have with all the physical power without the fighting type on the side. He hasn't failed me since I first got one in Pokemon White 2. Now he's got the killer move set that made him my Pokemon hero. Power Up Punch, Thunder Punch, Fire Punch, and Iron Tail. His only weakness to ground can really put his Shuka Berry to work, even if it's just one time, each time. He's amazing in so many ways that I can't name them all right now. I can say this though, there is no other electric type non-legendary that can pack that much of a wallop like my main man Electivire. I sure do hope he gets a Mega Evolution someday. That's when it'll be alright for him to be an electric and fighting type. Its attack, defense, and speed would increase at an alarming rate, so it'll be able to withstand most ground type moves since a good majority of them are physical attacks. And his ability would be adaptability, increasing his electric and fighting type moves by a huge margin, making him as unstoppable as Mega Lucario. I mean, sure, he'll gain the fairy type weakness, but still, he'll beat him down hard, especially since he can learn Iron Tail, if not Iron Head. Thank you all so much for watching this video. Please do show some love by leaving a like, subscribing, and sharing it with all your friends. With Pokemon Sun and Moon out now, there will be a Generation 7 only edition of this list coming soon. So be on the lookout for it. In the meantime, have a good day, stay positive, stay electric, and be nice to everyone. Eva Electivire out. Deuces!